Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Today we are going to talk about injection sites. This has been very interesting to me as I am going into week 5 on Friday. It'll be my second refill of the medicine. And by the way, hi, I'm Chris. Welcome to my channel. I have been on Zepbound for 4 weeks and I have lost 19 pounds. I actually had lost 20 pounds, but I gained a pound back this week. But my official weigh-in is on Friday, so I'll just stick with 19 pounds because that's the last weigh-in that I got. This is my personal journey. I am not a doctor, and this is not medical advice. This is my journey with Zepbound, and I have been so helped by other people on YouTube, and I get so much information from other fellow travelers on this journey, so I thought I would document my own journey. It also helps keep me accountable during the week, and it keeps me looking for interesting things to share with you all who are doing this or thinking about doing this. So injection sites have been, I've only done it in my stomach, and I'm just starting to research all of this. And there are some people, there's a doctor, an actual GLP-1 peptide promoting doctor that I follow, and I can't remember his name on here, and he has only ever done it in his stomach. There's all over the map where to inject your shot. I do the Zepbound. Hats off to those of you who use the needle to inject, because as I'm watching all of these things, I see people that order it online from like Mochi and the other places. I don't know much about it, but I do know it's a real needle, and I don't know if I could do that. I know mine's a real needle, but it really does all the work for you. My medicine's downstairs in the fridge, and so I would bring it up and show you, but it's a really cool tube. Maybe I can post a picture of it with the little needles are inside, and doing it in my stomach, I have not felt the pain at all. Doesn't hurt, and I don't think like my stomach is particularly numb compared to the rest of my body. So that's been a great site. But this last week, I have felt a lot more hungry. Not game-breaking hungry, but enough to where I'm thinking, what do I do? I started drinking more chicken broth. I'm making sure I get all my water in. I've got my huge hydro jug that I carry around and fill it over and over again during the day. I reintroduced this. This is what I was taking before I went on Zepbound, and this is Supergut. It's a GLP-1 booster, and I had tried to use this alone to lose weight, which some people might. It's a huge amount of fiber. It's got protein in it, and it fills you up. So I kind of mixed some of that in with my chicken broth. I'm thinking that possibly I might need to go up. I'm at 2.5 grams, 2.5 milligrams of Zepbound, and I know that's a starter dose. In all the things I'm researching, my daughter says that's not even a therapeutic dose. I think it is. It's what they start everybody on. A lot of people go straight to 5 after the first 4 weeks, and my doctor had me do another 4 weeks of 2.5. So I'm kind of going back and forth between, I've got a vacation coming up in a few weeks. And I also saw another doctor who said that when they titrate people up, sometimes people who have nausea or have a hard time going up, they will do 2.5, and then 4 days later or 3 days later, 3 or 4 days later, they do another 2.5, and then 3 days later, so that it's spaced out 7 days, but you kind of break up the dose of the 2.5. I think the things that concern me about that are insurance. I just got insurance to cover this last month's, which I was thrilled about, because the first month that I bought it, I had to pay $1,200 out of pocket. I am going to try to get reimbursed for it because my doctor didn't have it approved yet. I also know that you can go directly online to Eli Lilly, and they have some type of a program where you can get it for less expensive. But anyways, it's expensive, and I want to work within the frame of my insurance. So I don't know what's going to happen if I find that I'm super hungry and I call my doctor midway through the month and say, I want to use 2 of these a week and then go up to 5. But I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. So I'm coming to you today because I was going to have you all decide if I inject in my arm, and I'm a little nervous about it. I went left side of my stomach. First week, my daughter did left side of my stomach, then right side of my stomach. Then I just, after listening to the doctor who said he's always done it in his stomach, and he had fine, he wasn't hungry, he had coverage for that, and he didn't have a lot of side effects. So then I thought, well, I'll just stick with my stomach. So no pun intended. So then I did another left side of my stomach, not in the same exact place. Eli Lilly says to try not to go in the same place, give it time to recover. So I went a little bit below where I had done it the week before, and then I did my right side of my stomach. But this is week 5. And so I don't know, the first week that I was on this and the second week was great. I was not hungry at all. I could eat a few bites at breakfast, like an egg at breakfast, half a sandwich at lunch, or not even that, and then a very small portion of my dinner. And I felt like that was a perfect level of hunger and not hunger, and feeling good during the day. I had no side effects. But I also got a cold like the second day of after my first injection, and I had a bad cold for about 8 days. So I drank a lot of chicken broth. I drank a lot of water. I ate like roasted edamame, but it was a lot of liquids, and then just trying to get my protein in, small bites of chicken and stuff. Super, super healthy diet, which generally when I catch a cold, I do that. And so this last week, thank goodness, Friday's coming up, and I get to pick where to do my shot. So I went to the internet, like I do, like all my friends who are doctors say not to do, but I did go to Reddit and found a forum, and it was a bunch of people talking about where to inject their shots. And it kind of seemed very overwhelmingly from people who sounded like their experience was similar to mine, which was not a lot of side effects, did have good coverage in the stomach in terms of not being hungry. They ended up saying, the most people said injecting it in the back of your arm in 6 inches below your shoulder and 6 inches above your elbow is very good for switching it up. Now, some people said I did the arm, it didn't do anything, but most of the people that I'm reading say try your arm. You might have more side effects. And this is the thing with these drugs. It's so interesting to me. Some people go off it because they have terrible side effects. So you're listening to somebody who didn't have any side effects, doesn't want to have side effects, like I said, because in a couple weeks I'm going on vacation. So I'm thinking, do I just stick with doing it in my stomach? Because then I know I haven't had side effects. I'll be able to enjoy some food on my vacation. Or do I give it a whirl? Because in a couple weeks, it'll be a few days before I leave on vacation. And then I'll have a couple days if I do have side effects, but maybe the hunger suppression will be better. So what I'm looking to find out from you is, are you someone who has injected in your stomach? Have you also done it in your arm, or have you also done it in your thigh? That's the third area, which a lot of the feedback that I'm reading is the thigh hurts a lot more than the other locations. Also, the arm apparently is very hard to do yourself. Now, I did read somebody who, I don't see why I couldn't, you lift up your arm behind your head and then you put, I guess it's just hard to hold your hand and push the trigger here. So I might have my husband help me. I might not, I'm not sure. But I have until Friday morning. I get up at like 4:35 in the morning and I'm going to do it early in the morning, and today's Wednesday. So I'm hoping that by throwing this out there, somebody out there will tell me I did it in my arm and it was great. It was more hunger suppression, or I did it in my arm and it was useless. That's like my biggest nightmare is to right now, because I'm kind of on a roll. My weight loss has slowed the last couple weeks. I lost a ton the first week and the second week, and then a couple of pounds the third and well, fourth week. I have weigh-in on Friday for the end of the fourth week. But I don't want to hit a stall this early. And so I don't want to inject it in my arm and be starving the whole week. So, and I'm a little nervous about the thigh. So if anybody out there has done it in the thigh or the arm, I'd love to hear, and the stomach, whatever experience you have, let me know. Also, throw a vote in there in the comments, like go for the arm, and I think I'm going to, I only have 9 followers. This is a brand new channel, but if this happens to pick up a little steam, my video, and I have people watching this, and I can get at least one answer, then I'll go with that answer, but not the thigh. That's not an option this week. It's either the back of the arm or the stomach again. And I am going to let anybody who throws that answer out there pick. And if it's more than one person, hopefully it's not a tie. If you see that it's a tie, please comment and break the tie. So that's it. I'm just having injection concerns about my next injection, and I'd love to hear from those of you who have moved your injection spots around and what your feedback is, because it would be very helpful to me. Like I said, I'm reading Reddit and I'm going here and there, but I'd really love to hear from people personally. So that's it. I'll be back on Friday morning with a recap of my week. Hopefully I've lost something. I was really upset because I weighed in a couple days after weigh-in. I think it was Sunday, and I had lost a pound and hit -20 for the month. So I was super excited. But then I got real cocky and I weighed myself again the next day and I gained a pound back. So I'm back down to losing 19. And my goal for the first month was to hopefully lose 20 pounds and then hopefully lose like 15 next month. That may be too aggressive, but that's what I'm going for. That's what's in my head. So anyways, help me out if you can here and let me know. If you haven't done it in those spots, go ahead and pick a site for me. And I'll be back on Friday morning. I hope you're all having a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.